Hey guys, what's good? It's Marshall Mathers the fourth here. I just want to come to you guys today with a video sharing my thoughts and opinions on Eminem endorsing Joe Biden for presidency. And what I feel about it personally is that, well, first of all, Eminem is an incredible rapper and just an amazing lyricist. He's extremely talented at what he does. And after all, he is literally my all-time favorite rapper. And not because he's white and I'm white. He's my all-time favorite rapper because the stuff he raps about, I relate to and resonate with the most out of any other rapper in the entertainment industry. And I really connect with his songs and with his music emotionally and mentally. His lyrics speak to me very deeply. And I feel a lot of the same ways he does in a lot of his rap songs and what he raps about. Now, I don't agree with him on everything that he stands for and supports. I would even go as far to say most of what he stands for and supports and stands behind, I don't agree with at all. And I don't support or stand behind myself personally. And when it comes to him politically, when it comes to Eminem politically, he is the most unaware celebrity ever. I mean, it's not like he's the most, but he's one of the most. I mean, sadly, when it comes to Hollywood, or should I say Hollyweird, that whole entertainment industry as a whole is a very dark, twisted, upside down, evil, wicked, satanic, extremely far left, democratic entertainment industry. And it's messed up. I mean, a lot of shit that goes on in Hollywood behind the scenes, behind closed doors, under the rug, is just so fucked up. And I'm honestly surprised that anyone would, first of all, want to even become a celebrity in the first place, knowing about all the many bad things exposed about Hollywood on a daily, regular, day-to-day basis. Or that anyone would defend such a nasty, disgusting entertainment industry such as Hollywood. Or support it. Or stand behind it. Or act like it's such a wonderful place on earth. When it's not. It's the farthest thing from. I mean, honestly, it's practically the very pit of hell. And Hollywood is just such a distorted place. I mean, I would love to become an actor myself, a movie star, if I ever had the chance and opportunity and privilege, but obviously I don't, and I probably never will. But even if I did, I would not ever want to fucking live in that shithole in my entire life. I would never want to live in such a place, such as Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. No way in hell. And, you know, I feel like one of the reasons why Eminem is also endorsing Joe Biden, well, he was vice president for Obama for 8 years, and on top of that, Eminem also endorsed and voted for Obama, who's a stupid fucking bitch-ass piece of garbage who did nothing for this country, not even for black people. Even though Obama was the very first ever black president, oh, hooray, it's so amazing. But he didn't do anything for the black community. He did not, at all whatsoever, do anything for black Americans in this country. And that is the honest to God truth. That is a fact. And I know because I have seen many black people on Instagram, even on like really famous celebrities' Instagram accounts, like rappers' accounts and other total liberal nut job celebrities in Hollywood, or Hollyweird is what I like to call it. And I've seen actually quite a bit of black people saying comments like, Donald Trump has done more for the black community than Obama. And even many people who hate Donald Trump still will say that Obama didn't do jack shit for the black community. He literally did not help or benefit black people in America, like, whatsoever. Not even the slightest bit. And it's funny because, like I said, even black Americans who hate and despise Donald Trump still admit that Obama, as a president for the black community, sucked balls. He didn't do anything at all for them, or for anyone else in this country for that matter. He literally brought nothing to this country. He was a total fuck up of a president, which I'm pretty sure we can all agree on. And, you know, one of the reasons Eminem also endorsed Joe Biden for presidency is because most of his friends, if not all of them, and I know not all of them are, but definitely most of them are in fact black people. And if Eminem, I know he never would, but let's just say, for example, if Eminem were to have endorsed or voted for Donald J. Trump, he would get so attacked and so bashed and so dissed by literally every rapper who's shown him nothing but respect, praise, love, and just admiration all around. And all the rappers who are his friends, even the ones who are like his best friends, would totally turn their fucking back on him. And they would start dissing him left and right. They would just eat him alive. They would just chew him up and spit him out. They would just run over him with like a fucking steamroller or some shit. They would just flatten him into a pancake. I mean, he would not be able to take on all these rappers if they were to like either like diss him or even as much as to send him death threats, which wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, Eminem is one of the most famous celebrities in Hollywood, even just generally speaking, even not just like one of the most all-time like famous rappers, dead or alive. I mean, he's literally just, even as far as even just being a celebrity in Hollywood, he's literally one of the biggest ever and like the most talked about. And I mean, he's pretty overrated. I mean, if you think about it, and he's pretty damn popular. And it's obvious to know why. I mean, he not only got backed up by Dr. Dre, found and backed up by Dr. Dre, and got signed to Dr. Dre's record label company, Aftermath. I mean, Dr. Dre is also a really big rapper, but also one of the most famous rap beat producer makers. And I mean, Dr. Dre's also extremely famous for putting his name on the Beats by Dr. Dre headphones and selling them to Apple for like, what was it, something like 4.9 billion or something crazy like that. And I mean, but anyway, when it comes to Eminem always voting Democrat, always voting liberal, I mean, he's one of the most all-time famous liberals in Hollywood, without a doubt, but also most of his friends are black. And most black people in this country, just generally speaking, are Democrat. They are full on, full-pledged, fully devoted liberal Democrats. And most celebrities, whether they're black, white, Mexican, or whatever their race is, are Democrat or liberal, in other words. And Eminem, I know for an all-around fact, would not want to hurt or ruin his friendships with any of the rappers that are his friends, that are Democrats, that are liberals. Even if he actually maybe secretly does like Donald Trump more than Biden. I mean, obviously he can't say that, and like, obviously he probably doesn't, because not only has he been dissing Donald Trump left and right like a crazy ass motherfucker, but also he endorsed Biden. He endorsed Joe Biden. And I know for a fact that the main reason he did that is not just because, oh, he's a liberal Democrat celebrity, or because he hates Trump so much. It's because most of his friends are black. I mean, after all, he was raised in Detroit, Michigan, one of the biggest black populated cities in America. I mean, Detroit, Michigan is 90% black. And he was raised in Detroit since the age of 13 years old. That was a long fucking time ago, because now he's, what, 48? 2 years away from being 50? And, I mean, he grew up being beat up by black people left and right. And he was lucky enough to even find any black friends who would, like, back him up, support him, have his back, defend him, protect him, and just be like family to him. I mean, he was really lucky to find that, especially knowing for so many years before finding any black friends, he had his ass handed to him by so many black people in Detroit. So many of them. I mean, he almost died. I mean, he was even put in a coma after all. And, you know, knowing that he was able to find black friends in Detroit that also went on to become rappers themselves, he would not want to ruin his friendship with them, but also he doesn't want to look bad to the black community. Even though, like, black people in the hood have said it many times over that they don't listen to Eminem's music. They don't fuck with him. They think he's corny, they think he's whack, they think he's lame. They think the old Eminem was a savage and hungry and, like, just awesome. But ever since he started getting older, he started appealing less and less to black people in the hood. I mean, I think that's sad, because personally I feel like they're missing out on one of the most incredible lyricists ever, and I'm pretty sure if they chose to, on their own terms, to keep listening to his music and albums, I'm sure they would still find songs that would relate to them, that would resonate with them, that they would connect with, that would appeal to them, perhaps, if they would even at least still give his music a chance, but they don't. And obviously that's fine. That's their decision. But still, Eminem wants to seem cool. He wants to seem hard and a badass and dope to black people. And not just like the black rappers he's friends with, but also black people in the hood. He still wants at least some amount of recognition and praise and respect and love from them. Even if they don't really listen to his music, a lot of them will admit they still listen to his old shit that they like, or that they love, or that they still listen to, and that will never get old for them. And, you know, I just think it's sad and pathetic that he's worried about turning his back on black people as a whole, because he wants to support them to the ends of the earth, and that's exactly what he's doing. In his music, he's showed nothing but respect, love, appreciation, and care for black people. He also has shown so much support and devotion and like allegiance to black people. I mean, he's literally the whitest black man in this world. Like, I've even seen a lot of black people in like YouTube comment sections that say that to them, Eminem is like a reversed Oreo. He's white on the inside, but black on, no, white on the outside, I'm sorry, but black on the inside. Like a reversed Oreo, because a regular Oreo is black on the inside, outside, sorry, and white on the inside. But a reversed Oreo would, of course, be white on the outside and black on the inside. And that's what some, not all, but some black people, even some who admit they're from the hood or whatever, to them at least, personally, Eminem is, to them, a reversed Oreo. White on the outside and black on the inside. Knowing that a regular Oreo is black on the outside and white on the inside. And here's the thing. My dad even doesn't love Donald Trump that much, but he still voted for him, and so did I. And so did like everyone in my family that is registered to vote, always votes Republican. And when it comes to the Democratic Party, here are the many reasons why the Democrats are evil. First of all, Democrats are the party that is, well, was, I mean, responsible for slavery. I mean, believe it or not, like, the choice and decision is yours to believe, but believe it or not, doesn't change it from the fact that the Democratic Party was the one who not only started slavery, but also wanted to keep it going. And they also are responsible for starting the Civil War. And also, there was only about like 1%, honest to God, only like 1% of people who owned slaves, because they were expensive. And I mean, only the really rich and wealthy white people who are now the modern day Democrats, but they weren't at that time period, but whatever they were then, they are now the modern day Democrats. All the famous Democrats you see in the news, on TV and whatnot, are the modern day slave owners. And you know how you can tell? Because their vote mainly depends on black Americans. They are literally so dependent and always begging and pleading black Americans to never wake up, to never vote Republican, to never be conservative. They always want black Americans to always feel like they need to vote Democrat, 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 Democrat. And it's like they're trying to brainwash them and manipulate them to always have allegiance to the Democratic Party or the Democrat vote. I mean, if it weren't for them constantly brainwashing and manipulating black Americans, they would literally have like no one voting for them. I mean, that is literally where their main vote lies in this country, is among black Americans. And if they don't have black Americans vote for them, they're screwed. I mean, literally. No lie, they are fucked. But that's why they are trying to keep the black vote. And they're always trying to brainwash black Americans by lying to them, saying stuff like, black Americans have been so deprived and underprivileged and oppressed, which annoys the fucking shit out of me, because everywhere I look, black Americans are way more spoiled, rotten, privileged, well off, fortunate, lucky, and blessed than I have ever been in my life personally. They're just always making moves, always getting money, always living it up in the cities, always becoming successful and rich and powerful and famous and popular, and they're just always getting and gaining, always getting and gaining, getting and gaining, getting and gaining. And even black Americans in the hood are still making money and still better off than I am. So it annoys me, it irritates me to always hear this fake news, this phony news that is so dumb, that sadly so many black Americans believe just so much, like as if it's the Bible, or if it's like God himself telling them this, that like all of your ancestors were slaves, and like all white people owned slaves, when it was really only 1%. And even some black Americans at the time, even before some Africans were brought over, there were even some black Americans who were pretty damn rich who even had black slaves. But that is something that the Democratic Party and that the mainstream media, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, and a lot of other liberal media news outlets or liberal online articles will never tell or show black Americans, because they always want to lie so they can keep their vote, so they can have them trapped, so they can have them enslaved to the Democratic Party, to the Democrat vote. Don't you get it? Don't you see that all of you black Americans who constantly, nonstop, 24/7, keep on pledging your allegiance and devotion and love, care, and respect and support to the Democratic Party, you're enslaved. You're not free. You are enslaved by the Democratic Party. You'll never be free unless you wake the fuck up, until you realize you've been lied to, you've been deceived, you've been led astray, you've been tricked, you've been fooled, and you still are, unless or until you wake up and see things for what they truly are. You will always feel enslaved, and you will always be bitter and pissed off and angry and vengeful unless you stop supporting the Democrat Party. Because they don't love you or care about you or respect you, or anyone for that matter. You know who they love, care about, and respect? Themselves. They are self-entitled and absorbed people. They are selfish, greedy people. I mean, they are literally Satanists. They're communists. They want to fucking destroy this country. They're pro-abortion, for one. They want to tax the rich and give to the poor, when actually what they do is they'll tax the rich, but they won't just tax like, oh, celebrities. They'll tax everyone. Even people who they say they won't tax. They'll tax poor people. They'll tax people who are like celebrities, and they'll tax people who just work a six-figure income job. They'll tax anyone and everyone. It's not just like, oh, one people or the other. And when they say like, oh, we'll tax the rich and give to the poor, no, you won't. You'll tax everyone, and you'll spend it on dumb, stupid shit that won't even help or benefit anyone or this country. Either that, or you'll spend it on yourselves and you'll become more rich. And what's funny about it is Democrats own and control 70% of the wealth in this country. I will repeat myself. Democrats own and control 70% of the wealth in this country. Meaning, they hog it to themselves. They don't spread it out. They're not fair people. They always cheat, lie, and steal. And destroy. And they want to make other people's lives a living hell and miserable while they're living on cloud nine themselves. I mean, think about all these like big companies, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and all these other just super extremely fucking rich companies that are so like just monster corporations. These are liberal companies. Those are companies run by Democrats. You know what is also run by Democrats? Cities. Democrats love cities. Why? Because cities are literally Democrats' utopia. Cities, especially big cities, and actually it's only the big cities Democrats like. They don't really care for rural areas or small towns. They love big, booming, industrialized cities. Oh yeah, baby. That's what they love. That's their heaven on earth. That is their paradise on earth. They put their hope, faith, and trust in mankind. They don't care about God. They're not all about the next world or God or heaven. They're about this world. They're about mankind's kingdom, not God's kingdom. They're about mankind's kingdom. And they brainwash and manipulate so many Americans, not just black Americans, but other Americans as well, to be all crazy about the city. Yeah, city culture, city life, city environment. Oh yeah, baby, I'm really feeling it. I'm all caught up in the vibe. I'm gonna do drugs and party and smoke and have sex and drive fast and get all this materialistic shit that I don't really need but I want. It's all because of Democrats. Democrats want people to worship the cities. And honestly, cities are so fucking overrated. You know, Republican people don't care about cities. You know why? Because, first of all, cities are so overrated. They're here today and gone tomorrow because Republicans know that eventually they're going to get old. Their bodies are going to start stinking. They're going to get cancer. They're going to get a heart attack, a stroke, or whatever other disease that will kill them. And then they will die. And what will it all mean? What will everything that they've ever lived for, everything that they have ever bought, everything they ever got in life, what will it all mean when they die and they can't take it with them? They'll never be able to have it or see it ever again. It will mean nothing. And that's why Republicans are God-fearing. They care about heaven, the next world, the next life. Because that will last forever. That will be for eternity. This world will end one way or another. And yet so many people are just so obsessed with cities. And I know I'm there too. I'm just as guilty as anyone else. But you know what? I never got the privilege of living in a city. And that is why I am so angry at anyone who does. And I'm sorry to say, but I hate people who live in cities. I just don't have any respect, love, or care for you people. Because you've had it so much better and greater than I have ever had it in my life. Or could ever imagine to have it myself. You guys have just had privilege after privilege after privilege after privilege, while I have just nothing. I have no meaning in life whatsoever. And I just see all you motherfuckers just totally surpassing me in every possible way. And just really living it up. Really living in the moment. And just living on cloud nine. And just having paradise on earth. Heaven on earth. And just experiencing so many things that I never got to experience myself. That I never had myself. And I still don't. And I'm almost 24 years old. And yet, you pussies don't even appreciate all that you've been given, all that you've been spoiled rotten with. You're not grateful, and sometimes I just literally want to smack the shit out of every single last one of you and give you all a good kick in the pants, because you all deserve it. I mean, literally. Like, straight up, you all deserve a good kick in the pants and a good smack to the face. Because you don't realize how great you have it. Especially compared to me. And it frustrates me knowing that other people in this country that are supposedly doing worse than me, according to the news, like, oh, black people are so deprived and underprivileged and oppressed. They have it so bad. And white people have privilege. No we don't. I grew up extremely poor. Probably way more poor than any black American in this country. And I'm dead serious too. And they always talk about, like, other minorities in this country. They have it so bad. They have it so bad. It's so sad. I'm so sorry for all you poor little innocent black babies out there. Yeah, they're definitely babies. Sure. Oh, I'm so sorry that your ancestors were slaves. Well, you know what? I actually am sorry. But you know what? A lot of them actually escaped. And the ones who were able to escape, other white people would protect and defend them. And hide them away from their slave masters. Or get them to safety. Get them to freedom. White people fought and died to free your ancestors. And you can't even appreciate that. You can't be grateful for that. You can't even say a thank you. At the very least. I mean, even other black people during the Civil War. Not just white people. No, not just them. In the North, in the northern states, but black people too fought and probably also died in the Civil War trying to free other black slaves, as many as they could. And they did literally whatever they could, and it cost so many of them their lives. Hundreds of thousands of northern soldiers died. Brutal, gory deaths. So your ancestors could be free. I mean, if your ancestors could see you all today, they would be completely ashamed and embarrassed and humiliated for the modern day black Americans. They would be so upset and disappointed with all of you that you don't even appreciate everything that you've been given. Every privilege you've ever had. I mean, the fact that so many of you live in America and that so many of you have lived in this country for so many generations, and so many of you, the majority of you, live in the cities full of opportunities, full of experiences, full of diversity, just overflowing with diversity and job opportunities and experiences that people who live in a rural area like me will never get to experience. And I envy you, and I'm jealous of you. And the reason I'm so angry at you and hate you is because you're burning the cities down. You don't appreciate all that you've been given, all that you've been blessed with. Every opportunity you've ever had just gone to waste. And it's just heartbreaking. It pains me. It crushes me. And it tortures and torments me emotionally and mentally, knowing how many of you rich snobs, you rich brats, just destroy our cities. Yet you got to live in them your whole lives, your whole little precious, sweet, and innocent lives. And all you can do is destroy it, burn it to the ground, loot it, riot, and complain because some thug died. Some guy who stuck a gun to a pregnant stomach's belly and who was resisting arrest. And, you know, white people are killed by cops too. Mexicans are. Other people. It's not just black people. You black Americans, I'm sorry, but you act as if only black people are unfairly shot and murdered or strangled or whatever by cops. No, white people are too. We just have it as bad as you, if not even worse. And you know what? The government gives the average black person more money than white people. Same with any minorities in this country. They love minorities. And they also love immigrants. And, you know, Democrats want to bring socialism and communism to this country. And if Joe Biden wins, I hope to God he doesn't, and God forbid that he does, or any Democrat ever gets that chance ever again. But if they do, they will bring hell on earth. I mean, think about it. Why are cities being destroyed? Because Democrats don't give a fuck. They actually love destruction because they themselves are protected and defended, living in their big mansion and sitting on their millions and billions of dollars that they own and control, and that they don't spread out, and that they don't share with other people. And yet they always pretend to be like Robin, and like they pretend to give money to the poor. That's a load of bullshit. You know, the Black Lives Matter movement too, when you give money to that movement, you're actually giving money to Democrat parties. I'm serious, Democrat candidates. And also, the Black Lives Matter movement is a Marxist movement. And you know what else? Black Lives Matter doesn't matter to all blacks. It only matters to blacks who are unfairly killed by white cops, black cops, or just white people in general. But when there's black on black crime, which happens way more often, it doesn't matter to them. Like, even Don Lemon admitted that on CNN. Wow. Wow. Crazy, right? Yeah, so shocking. And Democrats are just evil. They only care about themselves. They're only in it for themselves. No one else. Nobody else. They're going to literally bring the Antichrist on the world. They're going to pave the way for him. But anyway, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I'm out.